What in your mind is the legacy of Gareth Southgate as England manager?
Successful. I think there's no doubt about that. I think that where we were when he took over and to where he's finished, there's been nothing but success, and the success of Gareth, his backroom staff, and the players has to be admired. Really, I think that we all get criticised in the manager's position, and particularly in an international job. I think he's handled himself absolutely fantastically well, and I think 8 years is an awful long time to cope with the pressures that this job brings. So I think that he's done all he needed to do. He's tried his very, very best, as has everybody else, and we've been very, very close to gaining the ultimate success, but not being quite good enough just to get it.
I mean, clearly, 2 finals does suggest that he was getting a lot right. It wasn't just a one-off. Is it a reminder of how much elite sport does also include a big slice of luck to get over the line?
Well, a big slice of luck in life can decide where you go, no matter how hard you work and what you do. I mean, the first thing is that you've got to be able to handle the position that you're in, and I think he's handled his position exceptionally well as a human being. We all know he's such a likeable lad, and he's managed through the ups and downs of England. And I don't consider there's been too many downs, by the way, hardly any, of course. So, he's decided that his time is up, and everybody can look back on that with great success. And I think that what he needs to do now is pack his bags and have a really good long holiday with his family, because he deserves it.
He certainly does. And Sam, assess for us, looking forward, what the next manager of England has at their disposal. A lot of people talk about it being an extraordinary crop of talent available, particularly young talent that should only get better. Do you agree with that?
I think that there's some young talent that has come through even in this tournament. I mean, there's quite a few changes from the last tournament in the Euros in England. I think that as time evolves, the next manager has to wait to see whether it can match or better this talent, and that is the difficulty of whoever is selected next time as the England manager. I think that probably on the front line, as Harry has struggled a little bit in this tournament, is how long will his international career last? And I think that is a big problem for England. Once Harry, I'm not saying he's going to retire now, but when the ultimate time for Harry retires for the next England manager, who is going to replace him? We need another goal scorer like we had with Wayne Rooney, like we've got with Harry, to replace him. And have we got that at the moment? We've got some good talent, but not the sort of talent that scores the goals that Harry Kane has scored in his career. So that will be one major problem the New England manager would have to face. The rest of the talent is exceptionally good, and that managing it is going to be a very difficult decision for the new manager that comes in. He's going to have a very difficult job emulating and bettering what Gareth's done.
In terms of the next manager, Sam, do you think, I mean, the first obvious question is whether or not the FA will stick with picking an English manager. Do you think they will?
Well, I said this yesterday. I said the fact of the matter is English managers are a rare breed in the Premier League, and one would look to the Premier League to look where the English managers are, and there is very, very few, unfortunately. And this is obviously the downside of what is the biggest league in the world, and that's the Premier League. So who do you look for in that category? That's the difficult thing. Preferably, for me, it always has been and should always be an English manager. So whether they decide to look to promote from within, whether they think that's the case, because Gareth was in the under 23 or under 21's position when he took over. So whether they do that or not, or whether they look farther or wider than that, but I wouldn't like to think that we pick a foreign manager because it's England. It deserves to be given to an Englishman.
I'm interested in your take on what the most significant job in football is. I mean, some have suggested if it was offered to Eddie Howe, for example, the Newcastle manager, that given, as you referenced there, the Premier League's the best league in the world now, would some managers prefer to lead one of the biggest Premier League clubs over the English national team, or do you not think that's the case?
It depends on what your ambitions are and what you feel at that particular time. I got interviewed in the height of my success at Bolton and lost out to Steve McLaren. I would have taken the job then, even though Bolton were riding high in the Premier League at that particular time and qualifying for Europe. I would have left the club I love the most to manage my country. But you know, not everybody may consider that to be the case. You know, so one can only wait and see. And like I said, the pool is very, very small, and that is one of the problems the FA will face if they want to choose an Englishman.
Sam, to wrap things up, and it's really amazing to have you on talking about this at the moment, and you know better than most about the ups and downs of football, as you said, the luck and the bad luck that can come around. Do you have a closing message to Gareth? Do you feel for him at this moment?
I feel he's got nothing to feel sorry for, other than he's done a fantastic job. I think that we've given our opinion as time has gone on. We've all looked at the Euros, and sometimes we've been frustrated, which everybody gets. Whether you're a manager, in my experience, or whether you're an ordinary fan, you know, we all express our opinion because we're so intense on wanting England to do well. But you know, he can look back on his career and with great success, and he can move on with his life. And I'm sure that it won't be too long after he's had probably a good rest that we probably will see him in the Premier League somewhere. So, you know, get away, relax, and reflect on not anything other than how good he's been. I think that's probably what I would suggest, certainly if I was Gareth, you know. So, yeah, it's been a big decision he's made, and I don't think I'm surprised he's made that decision.
Sam, thanks so much for joining us. Much appreciated.
Pleasure.